Great. Now, good to have you all on this call. My name is Kelvin Owusu. I'm a Double Diamond Associate with Max International. And tonight we are going to learn a few things about how to build a solid foundation. In fact, this series is called The Foundation for a Solid Business. The target is the new partners who joined our business. And the aim is to get them, to equip them with the basic things they need so that we can all launch a magnificent business that's going to pay us multiples of whatever we hope to achieve. And so for the first session, we are discussing prospecting. We are going to talk about it briefly. But I have this quote that I want to throw some light on. Now, it's simple. It's taken from the book of Jeremiah. Now, if you can hear me, please type a Y. So I know you can hear me loud and clear. Type a Y. I know you can hear me. Great. Okay, so this quotation is taken from the book of Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. There's something critical that hit me yesterday while in church. My pastor sort of used this scripture to do a sermon, and it hit me so hard. So it goes, I alone know the plans I have for you. Now this is God speaking. I alone know the plans I have for you. Plans to bring you prosperity and not disaster. Now the part in red is the part that hit me. It's a new revelation I received only yesterday. Now, plans to bring about the future you hope for. Plans to bring about the future you hope for. Listen, God did not say He's going to bring you a future that He has planned for you. No, the plan that God has for you is for the future that you yourself have planned for yourself. In other words, you must have a plan. You must have a hope. You must have a vision, something that you aspire to become, something that you want to achieve. That is your plan. That is your hope for the future. And it is this hope that God is going to put plans in place to help you to achieve. In other words, if you on this call do not have a hope, you do not have a plan, if you do not see anything positive in your future, well, guess what? God is only going to confirm what you have decided to achieve yourself. So if you have decided to fail, guess what? You are going to fail. If you've decided to achieve bronze rank, guess what? Bronze is going to happen for you because God has a plan to help you achieve the future that you have hoped for. And so if you leave this call and you don't get anything at all, I want you to understand that you must have a plan. You must decide what your future is going to look like so that God can align the universe in your favor. And so do not leave this call without a future. Do not leave this call without a hope. Sit down, take a pen, take a sheet of paper, and write down what you see for yourself in the future ahead of us all. Wonderful. So now, that's just by the way, that's just something I wanted to share because I got it yesterday. Now let's move on to the meat of today's session. We are discussing prospecting. Prospecting is the foundation of all that we do in network marketing, particularly in Max International. Prospecting is a vital, a key aspect of everything. In fact, if you do not know or you do not learn this skill, if you don't understand the importance of this skill, you are more or less wasting your time in network marketing. It doesn't matter which company you join. It doesn't matter which opportunity you align with. Prospecting is key. Prospecting goes even over and above network marketing. Salespeople prospect, entrepreneurs prospect. Without prospecting, there can never be a successful sale or a successful partnership. You must prospect everybody who you think is a potential. Now we are discussing the who, the where, and the how. Now, as an aside, I know a lot of people have come on this call expecting to be given some strategies on how to prospect and how to be successful and all that. No, that's not what we are coming to do here today. Today we are discussing principles. If you understand these principles, boy, your business is going to take off to another level. In fact, I would like you to type on the platform another level because we are taking our business to the next level above where we are now. March has started very well and is going to soar into April, into May, and to the rest of 2019. This is the best time to be a member of this team. This is the best time to be a member of Max International because we have the products, we have the compensation plan, we have the people, and we are on our way to the top. So now, if you are ready, let's get started because we don't have much time. We have to be done with this thing in a few minutes. So prospecting. And for those of you who are at the boot camp, you understand what this symbol means. Every time this comes up, what's the question? So first question, who is a prospect? Who prospect? Until you're able to define who a prospect is, it is nearly impossible to go to this level. And so related to this question, the next one is, what does it mean to prospect someone? So often I hear people associate them that I'm going prospect, I want to prospect this guy, I want to prospect that. We keep throwing that word prospect around. I think it's nobody's business. But the question is, who is a prospect, and what does it mean to actually prospect? Again, this is a follow-up from the bootcamp. So those of you who missed the bootcamp, well, this is your chance to learn something new. So, who's a prospect? Start by answering that question. A prospect is a contact you, focuses on you believe can become a potential partner or customer. In other words, not every contact is a prospect. Not every contact is a prospect. However, every contact can become a prospect. Now, when you understand this definition, it helps you to stay calm even in the midst of all the turbulence that you go through in your business, because you have to understand that the person you call prospect may not see himself as a potential partner, may not see himself as a potential customer. You said that person is a potential partner, and so it is up to you to convince that person that indeed he or she is a potential partner. And as you convince that person, it is up to him, that person, to decide whether he is convinced by what you are putting across or not. When you understand this thing, you realize that it's simply a give and take affair. If you give me something and I like it, I'll take it. If I don't like it, I will not take it. Nobody should be offended. No relationship should be destroyed. Everybody can go about doing their own thing, because we understand that a prospect is somebody that I personally decide that he or she is a potential business partner, not the other way around. He didn't come and tell me that I'm a potential partner. No, I decided. And so if I made that decision, it's also possible that the prospect has made a different decision altogether. Now, let's move on quickly. If you have any question, please feel free to type it on the platform so we can address it. What is prospecting? Prospecting is the art of creating the environment and or identifying a reason that is compelling enough for a prospect to join your organization. In other words, you have to create or the environment must be conducive, and your whole aim is to identify a need so that your opportunity or your product can address that need. Now, when you look at this definition, these two definitions that I'm giving right now, it is obvious, or it is clear, that you cannot wake up in the morning and decide that today I'm going to prospect. You cannot go and prospect. It is not possible. Rather, you can go out and make contact with people. So when you make contact with the people, based on the interactions you have had, then you decide that this person is a good person to have in my business. This is a prospect. So you go out to make contact. You don't go out to prospect. We make it seem like prospecting is something that you have to plan. No, you don't really plan per se. You know, you have to. You kind of behave like Van Nistelrooy. You make sure that you are in or around the goalpost, so that when there's a loose ball, you can simply tap in. As a network marketer, all you are doing is you are tapping in. You position yourself at vantage point so that you can make contact with all the people that come around. And once you have made the contact, then you can sit back and then sort them out into who is a potential business partner, who is a potential customer, and who is somebody that I don't think I can work with right now, so let him hold on for now. This is critical. If you understand what we are talking about here, you realize that our business is not that complicated at all. It is so easy to do. But it starts with you understanding these concepts. Now, let's go on quickly. So as I said, prospecting is simply the cleanup process. You find something that you might like, you think you might like, but as the way it looks, no, it doesn't look like something that you can work with. So why not shape it this way? Why not do this to it, and then let's move it to a position, something that I can actually work with. It's kind of like going to buy a piece of cloth at the market. When you have bought that cloth, it might be an expensive cloth, but it is useless because you cannot do anything with it. It's just a cloth. Until you send it to the tailor, who is going to cut it up and shape it into something that is going to be useful to you, you can't do much with it. And so, yes, you may have found that contact. The prospecting process is in cleaning up that contact so that contact now is open to your business or open to your product, then you can move that relationship to the next level. This is pretty much what prospecting is all about. And so do not say I'm going out to prospect, because it is, you can't go and prospect somebody you don't even know. You go out to make friends. You go out to make contacts. You go out to meet acquaintances. And then you build a relationship to a level where you can begin to invite them to see your opportunity. This re-emphasizes or emphasizes the need for relationship building. So many people are inviting people to attend business programs when they don't even know the people they are inviting. It's like you're a fisherman. You get to you go into the open waters, you just throw your net, and then the net lands there and it catches something. Sometimes you catch rubbish. You catch because you probably didn't look where you were putting the net, and that's why sometimes some of the fishermen have to actually dive into the water to make sure that there's a school of fish in there before they cast their net, so that they guarantee the catch. Prospecting guarantees the catch. If you don't prospect, all you are doing is casting a wide net, which can lead to a lot of frustration, because if you successfully invite 10 people to attend BOM in 1 week and nobody signs up, it can be very, very discouraging. Very, very discouraging indeed. And so instead of just casting a wide net, why not guarantee your success by cleaning up your contacts so that you can find correct prospects to work with? Now, who do you prospect, or who can become a prospect? Basically, network marketing is a people business. People business. The product or service or even the compensation plan is just the vehicle. So in as much as we want to make money, we all want to make money. You are not going to make any money if you don't find the people who are willing to work with you. And so it's important that you understand that it's a people business. Now, being a people business, automatically it means that shy people cannot succeed in our business. Or let me rephrase that. Shy people who refuse to change their ways, or who refuse to adapt ways of overcoming their shyness, can never have significant sustained success. Emphasis on significant sustained success. It's important to understand that people business requires you to actually interact with people. So you cannot say that I'm an introvert, I don't like going out, so I can't do network marketing. Once you agree that you want to do this business and you understand that this business has a potential change to turn your life around, you have to be willing to overcome certain discomforts or certain things that previously you were not used to doing. And so yes, you may be shy. Yes, you may be an introvert. Yes, you may not be. You may be a stammerer. You may not know how to talk to people, but you must be willing to learn so that you can overcome those limitations and then build a business. No network marketer ever made money selling his products to inanimate objects. It's not possible. And also, no network marketer had significant sustained success avoiding contact with people and selling their products through the internet or through pharmacies or whatever else is there. You cannot have sustained success selling your products through third parties. It doesn't work. You have to physically meet human beings and introduce them to your product or your business. This is network marketing 101, just as we are doing prospecting 101. So let's move on. Now, everyone in your life is a prospect. Your family members, your schoolmates, your church folk, your work colleagues, your neighbors, the random guy at the street corner, the guy, your ex-boyfriend, everybody is a prospect. Everybody in your contact list is a potential partner or a potential customer. But remember, as we said, it is up to you to sort out. So prospecting is the sorting out process. Initially, we said that prospecting is a cleanup process. Now I'm adding a point too. Prospecting is a sorting out process. Until you're able to categorize your people into customers and business partners, you might be selling your product to the wrong person, or you might be introducing your business to the wrong person. That guy you're trying to get to attend the BOM would be a better customer than a business partner. If that guy purchased one box of product from you, it is possible that he could have actually become the one who introduced you to the diamond in his family. So sorting out is very, very important. So everybody is a potential prospect. It's up to you to sort the people into the right categories. Quality over quantity. Casting your net wide guarantees that you always have people attending the BOM. And we know that if you get enough people to see the BOM or enough people to see opportunity, a few of them will sign up. But why do you want to spend valuable time inviting hundreds of people who have not been properly prepared to come and experience your opportunity, when you can focus on a few people who have been well prepared to attend your opportunity and guarantee that sign up. For instance, if you invite 30 people who cannot genuinely afford to start your opportunity, what are you trying to do? It's not possible. The person cannot afford to start a business. It's either he does not have the money genuinely, or he's not even willing to go and look for that money. And so the first requirement is that at least the people you invite should be in a position to start the business immediately. They should have the money, or they should be willing to go and look for that money. It is your responsibility to make sure that the person you have invited can actually start the business. Whether with his own money or with borrowed money is not important, but at least there's a willingness, there's a desire to start your opportunity. That is very, very important. That's what I mean by quality over quantity. So we move on. The fact that everyone is a prospect does not mean it's okay to go gung-ho on everyone you meet anywhere. You don't go and sit in a trotro and start presenting your opportunity to that person. You don't go and sit in a keke and start presenting your max opportunity to the person sitting next to you. The environment itself is not conducive. How can we be sitting in the public transport, sitting in a bus, and we are all sweating, and then you tell me that you have an opportunity that can make us millionaires? It doesn't make sense. At that particular time, we want air conditioning in the car. We don't want to be millionaires. We want air conditioning in that car at that particular time. It's possible that somebody is even standing at the front of the bus preaching and disturbing our peace, and you want to tell somebody about your opportunity at that time. No, it is the wrong time to present. The environment is not conducive. The best you can do under those circumstances is to make a new friend. That's all. Make a new friend. Take the person's name, take the person's number, and leave a memorable note to that person. In other words, something that when you call the person at a later time, you can make reference to. Or tell the person that, look, I think there's a connection here. I feel we can do business in the future. So that subsequently, when you call that person on the phone, you just draw the person's attention to the fact that, oh, I'm the guy who starts next to you in the trotro or in the keke, and I said I will do business in the future. Immediately you make this statement, the guy has a connection. Oh, yes, I remember you. And that's it. You want to make that connection because that connection is very, very valuable. It is worth more than even the number of calls you're going to make. Once your prospect can make a facial connection, half your work is done. So do not be in a hurry to present your opportunity to anyone and at any time. No. The environment must be set. The environment must be conducive. The time must be favorable to both parties so that you can have focus on what you are going to be presenting to that person, that potential partner. You must be tactful. You need a list. In other words, you need a plan, and the list is the first step to having a plan. So now let's talk about your list. Why do I need a list? Well, a business without an inventory is no business at all. How can you run a shop if you don't know what is in your shop? Often you go to ShopRite or any of the malls, Game, whichever big shop, Shop and Save or any other, and then there's a sign there, we are closed today for stock taking, because you have to know what is on your shelves. If you don't know what's on your shelf, how do you estimate how much sale you are expecting at the end of the month? How would you know when somebody is stealing your products? You need to have an inventory. And in network marketing, your list is your inventory. In my earlier video, I did an earlier video about a year or so ago where I spoke about how your list is your bank account. Your list is your bank account, and how much money you have in that bank account tells on your future prospects. And so it's important that you have a list because your list is the inventory. Now, if you can hear me, please type a Y on the platform. I feel a bit lonely here, so let me know that you are with me by typing a Y on the platform. Come on, come on, come on. Great, great, great. So we move on. Now, unfortunately, there's a major challenge when it comes to making your list. It is a known fact that the very first, when you join the business as a new partner, that first list you are going to make is the easiest list ever. It's the easiest list you can ever make in your network marketing career. This is because when you have joined the business, you know so many people who have never heard about Max. In fact, almost everybody in your life is new. And so that list is the easiest to make. Easiest to make. In fact, it's so easy that you have the luxury to decide who you want to talk to and who you don't want to talk to. It's like, you're actually writing your list. Somebody's name comes to mind, and you tell us, no, I don't want to talk to this person. You can actually afford to leave people off your list. That's how easy it is to make your first list. But unfortunately, that first list is also the one that gets messed up the most. And so I'm hoping that as you go along, you're going to realize how important that first list is, and you're going to spend some good time making that first list, so that we can have maximum benefit in our network marketing business. Because the truth of the matter is that if you make money early in your network marketing career, the probability that you stay engaged longer is much higher. And so it's critical that you, as a new person, make money early with Max International. It is critical that you make money early with Max International. And to help you make money early, you need a list. Now, everyone goes on your list. Whether you like them or not is not important, but every single person you know should go on your list. Now, some people say that the sound is low. Sorry. If you are not hearing the sound, please exit and then rejoin. Exit and rejoin the call. If you are having sound challenges, exit and rejoin the call. But we are going to continue, and we're going to continue because majority can hear. So please exit and rejoin the call. All right. So now, as I was saying, every single person you know should go on that list, because you're either going to be a destination or a doorway. Now, those who are at the boot camp, they understand this statement. We are not going to go into details about this, but understand that everybody needs to go on your list. Whether you like them or not, it's not important. The minute you begin to leave people off your list is doomed to fail. You need to have everybody on that list, because each person you put on that list is going to open up your mind to another person. When you write down Efia Mensah, suddenly you remember that Efia Mensah has two brothers, Kwejo Mensah and Yao Mensah. Immediately you write Yao Mensah, you remember that Yao had a girlfriend called Ekuya Mensah. And so just by writing, maybe for all you know, you don't even like Ekuya Mensah, you don't like her, you hate her, she's your enemy. But by writing her name down, you suddenly remember three other names which was associated with Ekuya Mensah. That is why it's important to write every name that you know, every contact that you know. Your list, that list, or your aim is not to go and talk to everybody, but at least you should have that name written down so that you can make reference to it at a later time when necessary. Now, how do I make a list? We've already started touching on this in the previous slide. Before you use any tool, you must first empty yourself. Now, I see so many new people making a mistake in this regard. Now, Eric Worre has a tool called the Memory Jogger. The Memory Jogger is a key tool in helping you put together your list. But as the name suggests, it is a memory jogger, which means that it is trying to remind you of names you have forgotten. In other words, the aim of the memory jogger is not to become the primary tool in making your list. When you use the memory jogger, you sort of lose the essence of the list you are making, because the first names that come easily to your mind, they are actually your hot list, your hot contacts. Your hot contacts are the first names that come easily to your mind. Now, the memory jogger, or the tools that we have, will put the names in a systematic format. We don't need systematic, because systematic will make you put names that are people who are not so close to you earlier than necessary. We want those people who you have a good relationship with to come first in your list. It is so important, so important. Dr. Max, please exit and then rejoin, because let's hear you. If you are hearing me loud and clear, can you please type an X so we know you can hear me loud and clear? Great. So majority are hearing us loud and clear. So please, if you cannot hear us, it means that you have the challenge is coming from your end. So please exit and rejoin so that you can hear us again, or reposition yourself. Maybe it's a network challenge. Wonderful. So now, as I was saying, do not use the tool too early. Don't use your phone. Don't use Facebook. Just plain old school stuff we are talking about, and we'll touch on it again briefly. But understand that the first names that come easily to you, they are your hot contacts, and that is actually the most important part of your list. If you miss those hot contacts, your list is more or less It's a dangerous list. Let me put it that way. It's a dangerous list. We don't like dangerous lists. Now let's move on. So how do you actually make your list? So number one, step one is memory recall. Sit down, take a pen, take a book, and it has to be a book, and rule some lines. I usually put 3 lines in there: a column for name, a column for number, and a column for feedback or remarks. Name, number, feedback, or remark. Now, put every name that comes into mind on that list. Now, this is how you do it. The first thing you do is write names. Just names, only names. Fill the name column before you start putting the numbers there. The reason why you do this is that if you start by putting the name and number, you tend to leave out people who you don't have the numbers for, and that's why using the phone is not a good idea either. So, for instance, I know Kwajo Menu, Yao Mensa, Ajwa, whoever, whatever. So I put 10 names down. When I started to write the numbers, I realized that I have only 5 numbers. It's okay, because in the 21st century, not having somebody's number is not a problem at all. Thanks to social media, there are so many other ways of connecting with people. However, if you fail to put that name down because you don't have the number, you limit yourself. Because I may not have this guy's number, but I can easily go on Facebook, Instagram, or one of the social media portals and connect with that guy. And so start by putting only names. So put 100 names if you can before you come and put the numbers. And when you finish putting the numbers there and you realize that, oh, I don't have 10 people's numbers, simple, hit them up on Facebook, find them on Instagram, find them on LinkedIn, and reconnect with them. It's important that you do this way. So step 1 is memory recall. Step 2 is memory recall. In fact, just from the memory recall, you can actually put down a list of as many as 500 people. Look, research has shown that the average human being, the average person on this call, knows more than 600 human beings. I repeat, the average human being knows more than 600 human beings. And I'm talking about people that you know their names, more than 600 people. And this is research proven. So what this means is that if you actually sit down, you can actually, by your memory, recall about 600 names and put on paper. However, your mind can only hold about maximum 20 names at a time. So even though you know 600 people, if you try to just remember them off the top of your head right now, you can only, the smartest of us can only recall 20 names just like that. But if you pick the pen and paper and start writing now, you can easily recall 500 names. This is significant, and as I said, this is research proven. And so don't take my word for it. Sit down and try it. It is only after you have put down these names from memory, then you can now bring in your memory jogger to try and top up with the ones you may have forgotten. So memory jogger will tell you, okay, old schoolmates, primary school, kindergarten, whatever. It will put them in that systematic order. And as you go through the system, you begin to remember. I remember a few more names. So after you've done the memory recall, the memory jogger can now add an additional 200 or 400 to your list, so that I can have a list of 1,000 people. Now, a list of 1,000 people is a very, very solid list to start your business with. Again, don't take my word for it. Try it, and you never regret it. Your business will take off like that. And we'll talk about it briefly. Laurentia, I'll say that a dangerous list is a list that you have omitted names on it. In other words, you are prejudging. So as you are writing your name, so a name comes into your mind, and then you think, no, this person is not qualified to do my business, so leave him out. So you cancel his name out of your list. That list is dangerous because it's a prejudicial list. If you go out with that list, it is possible that those you have put on the list are not going to join you. Rather, those you left out, you meet them at the max office and somebody else has invited them. So as much as possible, keep your list as non-judgmental as possible, because as I said, by putting one person's name down, it opens your mind to remember 5 more names to add to that one name that you put down. So the list, you may not necessarily speak to that person, but by writing his name, you have just remembered 5 other people who were associated with that person, and those guys are potential prospects, potential partners in your better than the first guy you put there. So don't do dangerous lists. That was the point I was trying to make. So we move on. Now, don't jump into the cold market too early. So many times new people come into the business and they say, me, my friends, I know how they are. I prefer to go and talk to cold market to cold prospects. Look, cold prospecting is not for children. It is not for the faint-hearted. They will kill you before your time. You understand? So you need to understand that your warm list is your rehearsal ground. You may not sign everybody on your warm list, but because you're already comfortable with them, because you already have a relationship with them, it is easier to deal with your warm list. And as you deal with your warm list and you sign a few of them, it boosts your confidence. It puts you in the right state of mind to now go and attack the cold market. If cold market was easy, my people, the company would not have bothered with network marketing as a means of selling their products. They would have just put their products on the pharmacy shelf, and that's it. Everybody would have just walked in and bought at will. But no, it is important that you tackle your warm list with all the seriousness that it requires so that you can build the confidence, you can improve your skill, and then enter the cold market. Indeed, the cold market is where the real money is. But before you get into the cold market, you must first exhaust your warm list. Very, very important. Now, let's go on. Now, I mentioned the list of 1,000 names, and somebody said 1,000 is too much. Let me explain to you why your list must be big. So many people have a list of what, 50, 100, 200. It looks like a good number, but honestly speaking, if your list is not up to 500 people, it's weak. The bigger your list is, the better, and here's why. Number one, the size of your bank balance determines how much you can spend. If your list is big, it tells you how the potential number of partners you can possibly have. Averagely, most people will sign up only about 10% of the list they put together. This is an average number. Most people sign up only about 10% of the number of people they put on their list. So if you have only 10 people on your list, you are probably going to sign one person. If you have 100 people on your list, you're probably going to sign 10 people. Now, if you have been in this business long enough, you understand that even by signing 10 people, you are at a good position. If you sign 20 people, you are actually heading somewhere. By the time you sign 50, you are probably a gold associate going platinum. By the time you sign 100 people in your business, you are probably platinum heading to diamond. Now, I have personally signed 150 human beings into my organization, personally enrolled 150 people. So it gives you an idea what kind of list I had. When I started a business, in my first week with Max International, I spoke to 100 people. Now, because my skill was weak, I signed only one person in my first week. But guess what? In my second week, out of that same 100 people, from following up, I signed 5 people in the second week, all on Premier Pack. And so I became a bronze associate within 2 weeks of joining Max International. And it's all because I had a big list when I started the business. And so by the time I went from 0 to 100, my skill had improved. So the 100th person I spoke to was the one who signed up, because by that time my skill was on point. And because I had now successfully signed one person, my confidence had been boosted. And so I went back to the original list again and did follow up, because now I had learned how to do follow up. And I signed 5 people. And so within 2 weeks, I signed 6 Premier Packs and became a bronze associate. It's not because I was lucky. It's not because of anything. It's just because my list was big. And because my list was big, I was forced to learn how to do the business faster. When your list is small, you feel like you have a lot of time on your hands. You don't. Number 2, majority of the people you approach will not get started. Only 10%, as I said, will start. And so if majority of them are not going to start and your list is already small, you are already at a disadvantage. If you work with a 10% number, then if your aim is to sign 5 people, then you must have a list of minimum 50 people. But you and I know that it's not that easy. And so the bigger your list is, and again, remember that the list is a lifetime thing we are talking about. It's not just about the here and the now. So if your list is small today, you need to work at improving it. And we'll touch on it again on this call, how to increase your list, because if your list is a fixed number, you're in for trouble. Your list must be dynamic. It must increase in size as you grow in the business. A big list will protect your heart. Now, this is the ultimate. When your list is small, your heart is at stake. You can easily develop a heart attack and die. Because when your list is small, as people reject your opportunity and you see the numbers going down, your heart begins to beat faster. And by the time your ninth, if your list is 10 people, by the time your seventh person has said no, Charlie, you realize that this mask thing, then you start becoming philosophical. It's not for me. I mean, I'm not good at talking. I'm not a people person. You start making excuses. Look, it is not you. It is your list. The earlier you increase your list, the earlier your heart is protected. My brother, I'm a doctor. Take it from me. Anyway, now most new partners won't do it. Yes, most people, even people on this call, they are not going to make a big list. They'll still make a small list. So if you, that one person, decide to make that big list, guess what? You are going to be the one who stands out. So do it, because you are going to stand out if you do it. Don't look at what the other person is doing. Let them continue doing their 50 list. No, don't worry about them at all. You make your list of 500 and then tell me 6 months from today how different your business is going to be looking. Okay, so there's a question. What about someone who is not from the country and does business in Ghana? It's obvious that he should go to the cold market boss. Well, since you have concluded your question, I don't know how to answer, because you say it's obvious. If it's obvious, I don't know how I'm going to answer that question, because to me it's not obvious. Because wherever you come from, wherever you live, you are in Ghana. You live with people. You came to Ghana to work or to go to school. You have classmates, don't you? You have housemates. You have church mates, or you go to the mosque with people. Definitely, you cannot be in Ghana and not know people. And so when you say that you have to go to cold market, well, try it and let's see how many people have gone to cold market and had significant success initially. It's so difficult, so difficult. Of course, I'm not saying it's not possible. It is very possible. However, it will test your mettle. So you have to make sure that you have what it takes before you enter the cold market. And what it takes is that your skill must be on point. Your skill must be on point. If your skill is not on point, the cold market will chew you and spit you out one time. No mercy at all. Okay, now let's go on. So you talk about the who. Now let's talk about the where. Where do you find prospects? Again, when you are new, so the new guys on the call, please check this out. When you are new, you have prospects literally everywhere you turn. When you go home, your parents are there, your cousins, your siblings, they are all there, your friends. Nobody knows about this opportunity, or even if they know about it, they haven't joined. And are you aware that it doesn't matter how popular an opportunity is in your locality, until you join, some people are never going to join. And this is a fact. People may have heard about the opportunity already, but they haven't joined. Immediately you join and you tell them about it, they listen to you because they know you, they have a relationship with you. And so once you are new, you have prospects at every turn of the way, because you are new. As you grow in the business, as you grow older in the business, you need to become a bit more deliberate, a bit more ingenious in how you prospect. You understand? Because as you grow in the business, almost everybody in your network has become aware that you are doing this business. Those that will join have joined. Those that will not join have not joined. And so now, what do you do to find new prospects? Now you have to go into the cold market because you have exhausted your warm list. But you must exhaust that warm list before you go into the cold market. It is very, very important. Don't jump into the cold market too early. For instance, there are people who hit me up and they ask me, how do I sign somebody in Niger? And my first question would usually be, have you spoken to your neighbor? And most of them have not even spoken to their neighbor about Max. The neighbor who lives next door to you, you see every day, you have not told that person about Max, and you want to go and tell somebody in Niger about Max. It doesn't make sense. See, you cannot successfully run an organization that is removed from you, that is distant from you, if you haven't been successful running an organization close to you. You have to start from home before you go out of home. And so if your neighborhood if you have not prospective people in your neighborhood, you have no business going out to your neighborhood, and your neighbors form part of your warm list because these are guys you interact with on a daily basis. Or in fact, if you choose to interact with them, you can actually interact with them on a daily basis. So that's why you must be deliberate in your prospecting. You must put yourself in a position so that people will meet you, people will interact with you by force. It is important. Now let's move on. So in still addressing the where. If you think your warm list is exhausted, guess what? All you have to do is do something new. And these are very simple things. If you are in church, you have to join a new group. You see, there are people who, when they joined Max, they were in the choir. 2 years later, they are still in the choir. They haven't added anything else to themselves, and they will complain that my friends are not joining. Why would they join? Because they are the same guys who saw you when you joined, and 2 years later, you are still there. You are still not bronze. Why would they join you? Move to a new organization. If you still want to be in the choir, no problem. Join the ushering team. Build new bridges. Form new partnership with people who don't know your past, who don't know that you've been doing math for 2 years and you are struggling. No, make new friends so that you can now expose them to the opportunity afresh. Don't work with the same people and expect them to change their way because they found revelation. No. You have to meet new people. Find a new social club. There's the Rotary, there's Rotaract, there's Full Gospel Men. There's so many different. Start your own. If you start a motorbike club, Harley Davidson club, start something new so that you can meet new people. Learn how to swim. Take a new course. Learn French. Learn German. Find things to do that will put you in contact with a new circle of people. Learn to dance salsa. Something. Make yourself become sociable. Become sociable, network on purpose. Don't sit in your house, in your comfort zone, and complain. See, complaining has never put food on anybody's table. It will never put food on your table. And so the earlier you stop complaining and start acting, the better for you. You say your warm list is exhausted, no problem. Instead of just jumping into co-market and meeting people, randomly entering the mall to talk to people, which usually doesn't yield results anyway, why not join a club and develop a new network? Even if the people don't join your Max business, guess what? You'd have found a new family where you can probably lean on them as in the future for something even unrelated. Your aim is to make new friends, not necessarily just to get new business partners. Make new friends. That's a very, very important aspect of our business. Understand that it will cost you money to meet quality people. It will cost you money. Every day you're looking for free events. Aren't you tired of attending free events? Haven't you realized that a lot of people attending free events cannot afford to join your business? Try and attend paid events as well. Because if the people have been able to pay for that event, it means they are of a certain social standing. They can actually afford to join your business, or they can afford your product. Don't stick to only free events. Pay for quality. Pay for quality. Pay for a new course. Pay for swimming. Do something new. Don't just focus on the free stuff. Expand your network so that you can meet people who themselves have been looking for an opportunity all this while, so that you don't have to spend too much time telling them why they need to join your business. The guy is already prepared for a business. He's just looking for the right one. You happen to be there at the right time, and that's the bam. He's joining your business. That's all. Now, the how. How do you prospect? Again, I've seen a lot of scripts making the rounds, where they have a list of questions and that's supposed to be the prospecting. No, it doesn't work like that. I call that pitching. So you meet. Imagine when somebody gave you a call right now, and they started asking you questions. So what do you do after work? What time do you sleep? Do you watch movies? Do you play video games? Why? If you ask me those questions, I'll probably hang up on you or walk away. That's a bit too invasive. I don't even know you. I don't even know you like that. Why are you asking me these questions? If I'm a cold prospect and you ask me these questions, it will be very offensive. I will walk away. I'll insult you. I'll slam the phone on you. On the other hand, if you are my friend or I'm your friend and you ask me these questions, it means you don't know me enough. And so why? It's weird. Why is my friend or somebody I call my friend asking me these weird questions? What's going on? That's so unlike you. And so you need to stop pitching. Rather, you need to start having fun. Make it fun. Network marketing is fun. Today we are chilling at Saint. Tomorrow we are doing campaigns. We are at the Max office doing lifestyle tour. There's a party. Network marketing is fun. Everywhere we are, network marketers are the life of the party. I remember when Albert Okran came to the conference center for he met my wife and he was like, the energy of Max International is different. He says he has presented on so many stages, but whenever, and this was the second time at a Max event, whenever he presents at a Max event, the energy is so infectious that he's forced to give off his best. That's the kind of people we are. We have fun. We love what we do. We have the products. We have the company. We are making money. So we love to have fun. And that is how we approach prospecting. We must be fun to be around. When we go for a party, we should be the life of the party. People should see us and want to stay with us. And this is important if you want to attract people to yourself. You must be a fun person. Of course, you must be a fun person who also understands the times, so that if you have to switch from fun to seriousness, you do so. You understand? If you are all fun and no seriousness, again, nobody takes it serious. But we are focusing on our warm list. The people on our warm list are friends. They are friends. They are family members. They are people who are close to us. They know us. They know that we are not experts. They know that we are not scientists. We are not business gurus. So suddenly, when you start calling your friend and start telling them about how you have American partners and they are coming to do, I mean, they start closing in. Then they start asking you those questions. Is it one of those things? Is it Max? Then when they ask that question, is it Max? Then you start recoiling, because it's like they've messed up your script. On your script, they were not supposed to ask, is it Max? They were supposed to say, yes, I'll be there at 2 o'clock. No, you are the one holding the script. They don't have a script, so they don't have to do anything according to your script. You are the one who chose to follow a script. But life doesn't follow a script. And so try not to present yourself as an expert. Try not to present yourself as a little doctor. Because when you do that, you start getting questions you cannot answer. Now, as a new business partner, your business will thrive on excitement, passion, and trust. Trust, because these are friends, these are people that you already have a relationship with. They know who you are. They've worked with you before, they've lived with you before, they've interacted with you before. So they know you, they understand you, they know that you are a cool, quiet person. So when suddenly this cool, quiet person has become passionate about something, and every day he's talking about how these products are great, how this business is great, they realize that something has changed in you. And when you're so excited about what is going on, you call them, hey, Charlie, Master, the thing I've seen, my mouth cannot even say, I bet, when can we meet? I want to share this with you, because when I heard it, I thought about you. When they start hearing you speak like this, they know something has changed, and they want to be a part of that because they know who you are before today. So suddenly he's so excited about this new thing. There must be something going on. I want to understand what's going on in this guy's life. So based on how much excitement you project, they will automatically gravitate towards you because they want to hear what's going on. You understand? It's very, very important that you don't dull your excitement to follow a script. Excitement trumps script any day. Again, when I joined Max, and when several of the leaders on the call today will tell you this, when they joined Max, it was not so much about the training. There was not much training going on. We thrived only on excitement. In fact, it was only after I got to bronze, when I signed my 6 people, that I realized that I needed to do some formal training, because I needed to improve my I needed to develop myself so that I can be of better value to my teammates. So what I'm saying is that a lot of the training that I went through was not even for me myself. Of course, I benefited eventually, but I started those trainings because I wanted to be of value to my teammates. But when it came to signing up people into signing people personally, it had nothing to do with the training. It was just based on the excitement that I had. And so when you are new, your excitement alone should be able to drive your business initially. And then when you want to achieve more, then training helps. Of course, as we have grown the business, we also realized that training can be a good tool from the beginning. And so that's why we give a lot of training, including the new associate orientation and all that. But unfortunately, many new people, and in fact, many of the old people are using the training as an excuse to underperform. So for instance, your new person joins the team, and then that new person is not doing anything, and your excuse is that he hasn't been able to attend the training session yet. That is a no good excuse, because the fact that you have not attended a training session has got no bearing on your ability to sign up somebody, because excitement cannot be taught. In fact, if you cannot generate enough excitement about your products or your opportunity, you should probably not be here. And so if you are on this call and you are not excited about this Max opportunity, you should probably start looking elsewhere, because you cannot succeed. The training cannot guarantee you success if you are not excited about the opportunity in the first place. It is the excitement that will lead you to attend the training session. And this is another fact. Failure to attend the training session is a decision. And that decision is born from the fact that you are not excited, you are not passionate about the opportunity you have been exposed to. And so, in order to save both of us a lot of time, why not move on to something that you might find more exciting? Because without excitement, we are wasting our time here. Please, if you can hear me, please type an X so I know you are there. It's too quiet in this house. Wonderful. So now let's make progress. And if you have a question, feel free to post it on the platform as well, so we can address it as we go along. We're moving on. So now the how. Your aim is to be exciting enough to catch their attention, but evasive enough to only pique their curiosity so they show up. You don't want to give too much information. You don't want to tell them that it's an American company that has come to Ghana and they have products. Once you start saying those things, they start shutting you out because they've heard this over and over again. Once you mention American company, you mention products. Hey, am I supposed to go and sell? I don't have time to sell. And then once you mention, and as you go on, you have to pay money to start a business. Hey, I don't have money I don't have money. I mean, times are hard. I can't raise money to come and join something that I don't know whether it's going to pay me or not. So if you give too much information, they form an opinion. And because they form an opinion, it's very, very difficult to break that opinion and get them to show up. Very difficult. But just by leveraging on your excitement alone, you can get them to at least show up. Because remember that we are leveraging on trust. These are people you know already. They are your warm list. If you did your list the right way, as I've shown you, the first 300, 400 people on that list are people you already know, people you already have a relationship with. And so when you call them up, because they know you and they know how you are, based on your newfound excitement, your newfound passion, they are going to want to hear more. And so they are going to show up just to see what is making you so excited. And that is it. Once they show up, then you can present the opportunity to them. Then they can make a decision. That's all. That's all. And usually, I would go further and remove that element of commitment. So, for instance, I'll tell you that. So I found this exciting opportunity, Charlie. I would love for it. In fact, when I heard it, your name came to mind. I want you to come and have a look at it. You don't even have to join or anything. Just come and see and give me an opinion. I value your opinion. So just come and have a look at it and then let me know what you think about this opportunity. That's all I want you to do. And so by removing the element of commitment, by telling them that it's okay if they don't start, they don't join you, it's okay if they don't join you. Number one, you are reducing the likelihood of hurt when there's a rejection. And then number two, you are making them feel more comfortable to just show up and then look at the opportunity. That's all. Because really speaking, if you know the person well enough and you know the person can afford to join the thing, when that person comes to have a look at that presentation, deciding to join is the easiest thing because he actually has the money. But when you make the money the object, so for instance, you tell the person to bring their money to the max office, by doing that, you alienate a lot of people who may have the money but are put off just by virtue of the fact that you insist that they bring the money. It's kind of like when you want to give a gift to somebody and then the person insists on collecting the gift even before you have suggested that you want to give them that list. Suddenly, your hand becomes heavy. You don't want to give that gift anymore. Same thing here. So be excited, make that invitation, and then remove the element of commitment, and you are good to go. All right. So now, what are the tools? I mentioned tools. What are the tools? The tools we use in these things is the BOM, the 2-on-1 presentation, the 1-on-1 presentations, and the videos. There are several other tools, but these are the ones I chose to talk about on this call. Okay, there's an interesting question on the platform. What of strangers that you are prospecting? How should it be? So first of all, you cannot prospect a stranger. If you have been following what we are discussing, you cannot prospect a stranger. Before the person is a contact, or you have to make friends with the person first before you start even trying to get him to join your business. It's a relationship building business. You need to start with a relationship. Your aim is to make friends. Your aim is to educate. And then subsequently, as you have been educated the person can make a decision to join your business. So if you don't know the person, if you don't know anything about the person, how do you get that person to join your business? Now, if you stay tuned, we'll talk a bit about this so that you get a bit more perspective. So just stay tuned. The answer to your question will come up later on. So the tools are the BOM, the 2-on-1 presentation, the 1-on-1s, and the videos. Now let's go on. I prefer the 2-on-1s to the 1-on-1s. I prefer 2-on-1s. In fact, personally, I haven't done a one-on-one for my own prospect in a while. Initially, when I joined the business, most of the people I signed up were one-on-one presentations. As time went along, I mean, I've learned that the two-on-one is better, and so now I advise the two-on-one. Of course, if you are good at getting results with the one-on-one, by all means, go do the one-on-one. But the reason why we learn is to add to our knowledge so that we can improve our outcomes. And so I believe that two-on-one is better if all factors are equal. Number one, it's easier to convince one person to join two of you when we meet as two-on-one. And by the two-on-one, it's simply that you, the associate, and then another associate do a presentation for one prospect. That's what I mean by two-on-one. So there are two associates presenting to one prospect, even though only one of the associates is actually doing the presentation. So one associate who is usually the new partner, the new associate, invites his prospect to a meeting with his upline. So there are three people at the meeting: the new associate, the old associate who is the upline, and then the prospect. So what I mean is that it's easier for one person to be convinced to join the two of you because he sees two, majority. I'm alone. So when they say the plan is good, do you want to join us? Yes, I want to join you because you are two. You look like a team. It's good. I want to be a part of this team. So this is a psychological thing. It works. So sometimes you just have to take it as it is. Number two is actually where the focus is: respect for the presenter. Now, if you meet your friend for a one-on-one presentation, most of the time what's going to happen is that you spend half that time discussing non-fat things that really will not bring money. You start talking about the children, you talk about football, you talk about the weather, you talk about politics. By the time you start talking about the business, there is already 1 hour gone and the guy has to go back to work. So not much is achieved. But if you met the prospect with a stranger, the stranger here being your upline, the prospect does not know who that stranger is. And so he's going to give respect to that stranger and focus on the reason why you are there. There's not going to be much talk about family and football and all the non-fat things. It's going to be business because that's what we came here to do. So you get straight to the point. Number two, when you start talking about the product, the science of the product, and the presenter who is the upline or the stranger is talking about how the products are helping with hypertension and helping with health challenges and extra. It is believable because the prospect assumes that the stranger is a science person. The stranger is a professional, is an expert. Because he doesn't know him, it's believable. But he knows. So if you start talking science and other things, but when did you become a doctor? So then they start giving you nicknames instead of focusing on the message you are giving them. But when there's a stranger talking, it's believable. So they'll keep quiet and listen. When it comes to making the money, again, if you start presenting the money, master, but wasn't it yesterday you borrowed money from me? If you had an opportunity that was giving you money, why did you borrow from me? So that becomes a stumbling block. But when the stranger is presenting, it's believable because when you look at how that guy is dressed, you look at his shoe, you look at his dress, he looks like somebody who is important, somebody who is actually making money. So when he tells you that there's money to be made, it is believable. So that's why so number two is actually the most important reason why the 2-1 is preferred. Number three, of course, the new guy sitting there is able to learn how to do the presentation by observing the upline doing it. And so it's a learning opportunity. Again, when you have two equal partners who are doing this thing, each person can actually evaluate how the other person performed. So that again, it helps you to improve your skill, improve your confidence, improve your communication, etc. So it helps in giving feedback. So all these are the reasons why I personally would go for a 2-on-1 instead of a 1-on-1. Of course, there are so many other ways of doing the 2-on-1. You can do it via phone, you can do it via a video. So all those things, you can use third-party tools to help you to achieve the same 2-on-1 thing, but it has to be done with in the right environment. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, now let's go on. We are gradually coming to a close. A successful invitation depends on an understanding that it's a gift. Now, this is the point we made early on when we defined who a prospect was. You decided that guy is a potential business partner, and so you are willing to give him or her a gift, which is your max opportunity. It is up to him, the prospect, to accept the opportunity, the gift you are giving him. You cannot force someone to take a gift. if it's indeed a gift, you cannot force the person to take it. And so it's important that you, as the gift giver, have this at the back of your mind, that I'm giving a gift. It's up to that person to accept that gift or not. If the person chooses to accept that gift, great. If he chooses not to accept the gift, well, it's his choice. He has refused it. Let's move on and keep the friendship. Keeping the friendship is very, very important, because subsequently, he or she may be ready to receive the gift now. Provided you are still in the picture, you can give that gift again. But if you have left the picture, guess what? You meet him at the max office and somebody else has signed him up. Number 2, your posture. Your posture is very, very critical. You need to make sure that you are confident enough about your opportunity so that it will show through your body language. Number 3 is the reason why we've been talking plenty. You need to get to know your prospect. That is why you cannot prospect a stranger. If you don't know the prospect, if you don't know the person's need, why should that person join your business? What are you actually addressing with the product? If you have to understand that if we could do a generic advert for our product, there will be no need to do it to sell our products via network marketing. If the company could just put adverts on TV and get people to go to a pharmacy to buy the product, there will be no need for us to go around doing all these things. And so the mere fact that we are in the picture is because there must be a personal connection for you to make a sale or for you to get a business partner. That is why you need to prospect and get to know that person. You need to build a relationship and make friends with that person so that you can address something with your opportunity or with your product. So now I have a question. Which of these 2 people would you sign with if all you had was this? These 2 guys approach you and both of them said that they have an opportunity. Which of them would you sign with? This is a question, A or B. Can I see some responses on the platform? So majority of you are saying B. In fact, nobody has said A. So it tells you that the posturing is important, the look is important. You cannot look like a nice man and try to sell a dream. The look is important. You can tell that A, even the way A is standing is suspect. The guy looks like he's about to rob somebody. Look at the way the pockets are big. I mean, he can probably fit a car in there. You understand? The way he looks like somebody. He himself needs an opportunity. You understand? But look at B, sharp. This guy looks like a money magnet, and so how you look is very, very important. Don't just dress anyhow and expect to win something. So many people go to the Max office wearing t-shirts. Yes, wearing the t-shirts is good, and I myself have used the t-shirt to get a couple of free prospects along in the market. But at least the t-shirt should be presentable. Don't wear a faded t-shirt and expect to. Seriously, you have to look good if you are trying to sell sell a plan to somebody. You have to look the part, and it's very, very important. Now, check this out. What if I told you that it's actually the same person? So this gentleman is actually now a platinum associate. He's called Samuel. He is actually based in Tema. This is him before Max, when he was earning a salary of less than 300 Ghana cedis, and he was working like crazy. Today, he's a full-time network marketer with Max International and a platinum associate. So look at the difference. He's chopping money. That's the point I'm trying to tell you. He has learned how to build his business the right way. And today, he's reaping the rewards. So today, if this guy approaches you and tells you that I have an opportunity for you, he looks the part, it's believable, and so people are going to listen to him. If that same guy had approached you a year ago or 2 years ago, you probably would not have listened to him. This is how you look when you don't have training. And so yes, excitement is good. Excitement can get you off the ground, but excitement alone will not sustain your business. You need to get the training. He's wearing the same suit. Still wearing a suit, but look at the difference. He's wearing the right size, the right fit, the right color combination. Everything is right because he learned how to dress well. And these are things that I myself have learned since I've joined Max International. You too can learn it and change something about yourself. Now, let's quickly wrap up by learning how to approach the peripheral prospect, so that those of you who wanted to know about how to approach strangers, you can pick a few pointers. So the first thing, as we have learned from the previous slide, is that you have to look the part. You cannot dress anyhow and attract people. Or better still, the way you dress will determine the caliber of persons you attract. So if you want to attract people who, you know what I'm talking about, dress a particular way, especially for the ladies. If you want to attract business partners, then you have to dress like a businesswoman. If you want to attract suitors, again, dress like something else. You decide who you attract. You decide who you attract. Number two, always ask for permission before you share whatever you came to share. Whether it's face-to-face or on the phone, always ask permission. Don't start talking and then the person will say, please, not a good time, call me back later. It would have killed your vim. When you call, the first thing you ask is this a good time to talk? Always ask permission before you launch into whatever you went there to share. If it's not a good time, reschedule. Do not give what you came to share under duress. No. Always reschedule. Make sure you are comfortable with the location, with the time. Make sure you are comfortable so that you can give off your best. You need to be comfortable. Number three, start with a compliment. And we talked about this last week, so we won't talk too much about it, but always start with a compliment. Number four, with a cold prospect, all you are looking for is a phone number. That's all. Be interested. In other words, ask questions and get that person talking. Don't talk too much. It is not your show, it is their show. Let them get comfortable with you and you realize that they will give you information you need, so that subsequently when you call that person, you can move quickly from just the contact phase to the prospecting to the invitation. And today we covered almost everything. We covered from the prospecting, from contacts, from making the contact through the questions to the invitation. We've covered it all. So at the end of this call, you should be in a better position to actually do this thing. Do not pitch. Do not start asking, what do you do after work? Do you eat? Do you sleep? Do you drink? Those questions are quite invasive for a first meeting. So don't do that. Ask general questions that will get them talking, about their life goals. Things that are interesting topics, which also means that you should be current. In as much as we don't spend all our time watching the news, it's important that you know what's going on, so that if you met somebody today, the topical issue that I will discuss with that person probably will be the commission in Ghana. That is, will be the commission issue, the Owusu West Wogon commission that has been set up. If it's in Nigeria, we'll probably be discussing the governor election that just happened over the weekend. You need to be current, but don't spend all your time listening to news. But at least have an idea what's going on, so that it will give you ways and means to get people to interact with you. It's very important. Okay, now let's go on and wrap up quickly. Now, as a new partner yourself, your role is to bring other people on board. Give them a chance to also come to Max and make money. The same chance that you were given, give that chance to the new people as well. But the question is, should it be, and this one, I'll need some responses. Should it be your responsibility to ensure that your new partner is making money? Should it be or is it your responsibility to make sure that your new partner is making money? Yes or no? Can I get some responses? Yes or no, quickly? Great. So majority of you are saying yes, it is your responsibility to make sure that your new partner is making money. A few people are saying no. Well, I'll leave that to your discretion. What I'll tell you is that when your new person joins the business or joins your team, what you need to do, which is not controversial at all, is that number one, plug him or her into the team structure. Put that person on the WhatsApp page. If you are not an admin, make sure that the admin has been notified so that the administrator can add the person to the page. Make sure that your new partner has downloaded the FCC app, because we do a lot of training via the FCC. Make sure the person has the Max app. Those of you on the call who don't have the Max app, reach out to your upline so that you can get that Max app and on your phone. Let them be aware of the training schedule, especially if it's regular in your area. Let's make sure they are aware of the training schedule. So plug them into the team structure. It is very, very important. Number two, make sure that your upline leaders are aware of your new partner, especially the bronzes and above leaders. Find your bronze and above leader, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond. Make sure that you yourself have a relationship with your upline bronze or upline silver, upline platinum, or whoever, so that when your new partner joins the team, you can introduce that new partner to your upline. Number 3, get him or her started on the GoPro book. That's the 7 steps to become a network marketing professional. And then your 30 network marketing. These 2 books form the foundation of every network marketing person's career. And number 4, which actually has a bearing on the question we asked in the previous slide, whatever happens after depends on that person himself. In other words, what I'm saying is that it is not your responsibility per se to make sure that your new person is making money. It is your responsibility to make sure that you have provided all these things for that new person. It is up to that new person to decide whether he wants to make money or not. And until you get this realization, you will spend majority of your time carrying people who are not ready to be carried along, and then lose focus or lose sight of your primary role in this business. If you read any of the network marketing resources that are provided, you will understand that it is not enough to sign 1 or 2 people. In fact, it's not enough to sign 5 people. It is not enough to sign 10 people. It is not enough to sign 20 people. You must sign as many people as you possibly can, so that out of the many people you have signed, the few serious ones can wake up and take this opportunity to the next level. When you spend your time trying to help everybody you sign to make money, you never achieve your full potential in the business. And because you yourself never achieve your full potential, your team will never achieve their full potential. And so before long, you and your teammates will all start saying that network marketing doesn't pay, and you start looking for the next best thing. Meanwhile, there are people here at Max who are getting paid 100,000 Ghana cedis every single month. There are people in Max who are earning 50,000 cedis every single month. Do you think they also say the same thing, that Max doesn't pay? No, because Max is paying them a lot of money. So check yourself and understand the reasons why you are not getting paid. Fix those problems and you realize that Max pays indeed. So now, in wrapping up, in concluding, I'd just like you to remember these 2 things, 2 key things indeed. The first one is that the key to generating momentum is in bringing new blood, is in signing new people. That's the true key to momentum. Until you sign new people into the business, you'll never really, push yourself. The last time you earned a fast start, how did you feel? For those who are new and don't understand fast start is the commission you get every time you sign up a new person. Examine yourself. The last time, it doesn't matter what level you are, it doesn't matter what rank you are, the last time you earned a fast start, how did you feel? The last time I had a fast start, just last week, I was so excited, because I was actually about to travel, and then when that money hit my account on Wednesday, guess what? I quickly went to the filling station, I filled my tank. And I was like, well, I didn't even do anything. The money has just come. I just used it to buy my fuel, and I was so excited. It's like somebody had dashed me some, I don't know. There was some new excitement, and that excitement that day, like as I was traveling, I called 10 new prospects just because I'd been paid a fast start. I was so excited, I just started calling, Charlie, and that's me. And I'm a double diamond associate, and I still get excited when I receive a fast start. It tells you how important the fast start is. Every time you bring a new person into the business, you yourself are inspired to go out and do more. And then the second thing I want you to remember is that you cannot substitute team momentum for personal momentum. In other words, the fact that we get paid because our downlines are doing auto-ship or our downlines are bringing volumes does not mean that you should only depend on your downlines bringing money. Because if you look at the compensation plan well and you study it well, you realize that the matching check is the most important, the highest paying commission. But the matching check depends on how many people that you have personally enrolled. And so if you really want to enjoy good income, make sure that, as I said, you have enrolled as many people as you possibly can. And that is why, or that was the purpose of today's call, to help you understand that prospecting never ends. We keep prospecting, we keep signing up people until the day we decide to quit the business. So long as you decided to remain in the business, prospecting never ends. And so This is a quote from my boss Felix, which I saw today, and it was very, very inspiring. If you do not come from a rich family must come from you. In other words, where you are coming from is not important. The circumstances in your house is not important. The fact that you have not paid your rent, the fact that you owe school fees, the fact that you are walking to work, the fact that you have challenges is not important. Every one of us has challenges. What is important is, where are you going? Where are you going? Who are you inspiring? Who are you leading on the path to breaking free? That is what is important. Because at the end of the day, each and every one of us will render an account after all is said and done. What will your account be? That I found max opportunity and I was unable to overcome the challenges that prevented me from achieving success with max, or that in spite of the challenges I went through, I was able to build a significant business with Max International. That was the envy of everyone around me. I choose the latter, that I will succeed in spite of my challenges, because that's what the challenges there. They are there. In fact, if you deal with this challenge, there's a bigger challenge waiting for you. Life is all about overcoming one challenge after another. And so that's what I leave you with. If you have any questions, feel free to post on the platform. But we've come to the end of this call. I do hope that you got some value from this session today. Once again, my name is Kelvin, and I'm glad that you joined me on this call. Stay tuned for the next day. Let's make March one to remember. Let's go out there and build a formidable business. Have a wonderful evening.